and welcome to the Spring Q&A for Spring Season Quest Spring. I'm Lucy, and I was your DM. Are you alright?
Yeah, that was a good intro.
Yeah, thank you. I knew all the words I wanted to say as well.
I'm Tom, and I played Oliver Oaken, I think that's his voice, and Axel Gribarm.
I love that you had a panicked look of not being able to remember it, and you're like, oh no, this is the only one where I have any reference to how I want to sound like.
Yeah.
I'm Charlie, and I played Bazza Brown.
Hey, I'm Troy, and I played Nick Kidman and his alter ego, Harry Shaft.
I like how you didn't do Nick Kidman's voice.
Nick Kidman.
Man, let's start with the voices, because boy howdy, were they a trip.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that was definitely the season we committed to, like, the craziest voices when I didn't do a single voice.
Yeah. Well, because me and Charlie had our voices pre-prepared.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to do the headspace guy.
Yeah. I locked in that I was going to do Australian pretty early on before I realized that I can't do an Australian accent.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
And
There was an order of events there.
Yeah.
And then we threw Troy under the bus in every single way possible. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not know you guys were going to do voices, but, I decided to throw on a voice. Unfortunately, the voice I chose was the one I chose.
It didn't make it into the recording, but just before you picked that voice, you're like, I can't do the Barney voice. I don't want to do the Barney voice. What a terrible decision if I did the Barney voice. And then immediately you did the Barney voice.
Yeah, I
There
slip
was-
into it pretty naturally,
Pretty
unfortunately.
regular.
Yeah. There was about 5 minutes of panic that I cut out immediately beforehand.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And it's like, oh, she'll lift the panic. No, it was just so much, 30 seconds of silence. And Tom, your second voice?
Oh, my second voice, we decided in the car ride to the session, because we just finished doing a very early morning shoot
Yeah, we
for a particular show,
work on a TV. We worked on a
TV
TV
show.
show. I think we can. People already know our full names.
No,
What now?
legally no.
Can we not? We haven't
No,
signed
we
an
can't.
NDA. I got really scared for a second.
So you guys illegally worked on a TV show, I hear.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did a crime show.
We were doing
A kids crime show called What Now?
What Now, and we were on our way back from it, and we just woke.
We got up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
to leave
really
at 4:30.
So we were pretty knackered. And I was like, I haven't even thought about, because my character had just died and we'd just written up the character sheet, but I hadn't actually come up with a voice for my character. I was thinking like an old man voice.
Yeah.
And then Lucy said, what if you just didn't do that? And I said, what can I do then?
I said you should do a John Mulaney voice because I think about 5 minutes early we'd just been doing John Mulaney bits.
Yeah, but I'd never tried to do a John Mulaney voice
Yeah.
before, so that was my first time going for it.
Because we also, we both say different things to get into our John Mulaney voice. What's your one again?
Disgraced nuclear physicist, but I don't need that anymore. I can just hop into it.
Mine is always my wife. And then I just keep talking like this, and I just keep talking about my wife. And it's not a good John Mulaney impression, but it technically legally is one.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I'd
any
say
of our...
legally it's a Lucy impression, and it's pretty spot on.
I don't think any of our impressions are very good. I think that's kind of the point, right? D&D, it's not...
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah, we're all bad at what we do.
We're going to see if we're better at impressions later on this episode, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Axel was fun.
Axel is possibly my favourite character we've had so far.
He's monks are my favourite class, so he's my favourite character that I've played. My first proper character that I played in a long-running campaign, Charlie DM'd it. He was Garfield. He was a monk.
Gar of the Field.
Yeah, and he was a monk, and he got boots of speed like halfway through, so his speed was fucking nuts.
Your speed was, I think,
It was 90, and then I could tap my heels and go up to like higher than that, 180 or something.
His speed was nuts, and his nuts were gone.
Yes, chat. No context for the listeners on what that joke means.
Something happened.
Yeah,
Tom got neutered.
yeah. I love doing voices. My highlight of D&D.
Voices
doing
are
funny
fun,
voices.
being silly and doing voices.
Yeah, especially bad voices, because it's always great when everyone laughs at you.
And I love just annoying the shit out of our listeners with my bad voices.
Yeah, fuck you.
Speaking of bad voices, Brad Zimmerman of Fate of Eisen did ask, can every character please sound like John Mulaney in the next season?
No.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm DMing.
Oh, but here's the thing. All of our impressions are just too good. I don't think people would be able to tell us apart.
He might sue.
He might sue.
I'm the DM, so every character would sound the same.
Oh, we've never had that before. Anyway, so Spring, episode 1. Strange Litters and Stranger People. It was a fun start. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't come up with most of that. I have a lot of planned stuff. Like, I planned a lot for my campaign. I just didn't really think about the very start of it. Like,
Yeah.
I knew you guys were going to get the book. Full stop. That's all I had.
I really like, you're going to see this next season, I really like beginnings that are like staggered, where you meet one character and then you meet another character and then you meet the final character and then they're all a party together. So I loved starting like that. I love being able to be like, oh, it's just me for a while and now I have to go find player 2. Hello, bitch.
Hey. The origin of macaroni. Or mac.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
His name was Mackin. M-A-C-C-E-N.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, you guys get really mad at me every single time I make a pun. Can I just point out the 2 characters you fuckers named in episode 1 was Postman Malone and Mac and Cheese. Why am I in
believe
trouble?
it was you who named him Postman
Yeah.
Malone.
No,
I'm pretty sure it
I'm
was
pretty
you.
sure he was
I
just the
think it was-
postman, and then you said Malone, or I did it.
Yeah, I think it was you.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Mac and cheese isn't a pun, by the way.
That's
Mac and cheese is his legal name.
That's
It's
a
a
question
legal pun.
for you guys at home. Did Lucy name Post Malone Post Malone?
And
This
then
is
get
the-
angry at us for naming him that?
I'm not mad at you guys for naming him that. I'm mad that you guys get mad at me about my puns.
I just think it's...
I'm mad at you for Postman Malone now.
I think it's about quality over quantity. I think
Yeah, there's 3 of you and 1 of me. Tell me what that says.
2 funny posts to pun, 2 funny pun, 2 punny one, 1 unfunny Lucy pun.
And I was there.
That's a third of a pun each. If we made 2 puns.
2/3.
Next question.
Hey.
So 6 puns?
What was the name of Lucy's town?
Non.
No.
Oh, known.
We all said different things, and that's because I never clarified. And it's my fault, and I'll take that.
I think the funniest part is that Lucy went, I'm going to call this place the
I said non.
University of Knowing. And so I thought it was known because I'd only ever seen it written down because I thought it was a pun. And it
Also, you hadn't only seen it written down. At that time, me and Tom lived together, and Charlie, I think you lived with us at that point.
He did, yeah.
And we talked about it a lot the
Kind
night
of.
before, because that's when you guys came up with Stump Ball and the flag or something.
Yeah.
Emblem. Yeah, he got to come up with the emblem, I got to come up with national sport, and then Troy
Yeah.
got to come up with the animals.
Yeah, I decided what the pest was during
Yeah.
the episode.
Which was
Great choice, by the way.
ferrets.
Weasels.
Weasels.
I don't even know.
Weasels.
I don't know the difference.
Didn't you speak to weasels? Wasn't that your whole thing?
It was
Ferrets and weasels are so similar, I don't want to hear it.
also, it's the only character voice I did.
That's true.
I'm the weasel, and I don't know what. This is very scary. I can't believe you guys are asking me questions, and it's just not fair.
The existential crisis weasel.
Also, only episode of Season Quest my dad's ever listened to, and his favorite bit was the weasel bit.
My dad's
but-
only ever listened to the first minute of Winter and went, not for me.
My grandmother's only listened to the first minute of an episode of Spring, and my mum turned it off because in that minute, I swore. I was like, oh man, what the fuck? And then you were like, that's fucking stupid. I said, shut the fuck up, Tom. And then my mum went, okay, no more of that. No more podcasts.
The first episode of Spring is also the episode your mum appears in.
Yeah, yeah.
She called in from home.
Long time listener, first time caller. It was, it's a shame we haven't had any more, guest moments from Mum. What's that?
Charlie speak. He's been sitting there going, ma.
My parents don't listen to me in real life.
Don't worry, I'll cut it in a couple minutes back when it's funny and not just tragic. It'll be fine. Yeah, you guys met up. You guys left the town. You left
a
your
mystery
wife,
book.
Charlie.
Well, not legally.
We had a mystery book.
I
Yeah,
had
but
to.
by locale. Oh yeah, we should probably talk about the book.
I was
Yeah,
going
that was
on
the
the
main plot.
trek.
I don't think it matters that Charlie left his wife.
I think it would have been so fucking funny if we got to that point and she was like, don't go, and you went, okay, and then we made you a new character.
What if her name was Becca?
I was really, really tempted to.
I think it was important that Charlie left his wife, because it really gave me something to play with later on in the story.
You
Yeah.
certainly played with her. And it gave Bazza room to grow. His famous catchphrase that everybody loves.
I love the fact that when we started the season, I said, I'm going to be a really nice guy this season. I'm going to avoid combat and I'm going to be nice to everyone. And then I wasn't because I was surrounded by 2 terrible influences.
It's the same thing of like this kind of friendship in general. You're very easily influenced.
Yeah.
what happened next? Book. Let's
Got a
talk
book.
about the book. You guys got the wee magical
Book.
book?
The wizard book.
The
It was
wizard
a
book,
book
and
with
there's a very
plants in it.
specific word I'm looking for.
Diary,
Tome.
journal, notebook, tome.
Tome.
Nope.
Diary.
Nope.
Book.
Fuck.
Journal.
Dingo.
Encyclopedia? It's not an encyclopedia.
It was a bird. It was a book about plants and shit.
It was a book about
Slumber.
plants and
Non-fiction.
shit.
It was
was-
non-fiction.
It was non-fiction.
It was fiction.
It was
It wasn't fiction. It was non-fiction within a world of fiction.
the Voynich manuscript. Manuscript's the word I was looking for. It's a book that hasn't been actually printed. Yeah, the book you guys got. I also had a reference guide that I was using a bunch of the time of the actual, like, scans of the book. Because it's a real book that exists. It's probably not written in, like, a codex or anything. It is probably just, like, mad gibberish. But yeah, it's kind of like an encyclopedia of plants that don't exist.
I didn't realise there was
Fiction.
2 books.
2 books.
I assumed that because you also had the diary. Oliver had the diary
Yeah.
journal
That was
from his...
7 pages missing.
Yeah.
That was my like
trinket.
trinket. Yeah.
Right. I just assumed they were the same item.
No, you're a stupid little dum dum.
Well, I don't think you ever told me what our actual mission was in that first episode. I think
I
I
don't think you ever got
I think
told
I
full stop.
overheard it.
I walked up to Bazza and I said, "Bazza, I need you to help me go to Voynich so I can return this book." And then Bazza went, "Yeah," and then we
Bazza,
just
well,
ran
Bazza
to-
actually went, nah, yeah, alright.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nah.
And then you guys decided I was coming because I was the adventurer.
Yeah.
I just kicked that so hard I burped.
Something I was going to mess with but didn't end up using was kind of the idea of people getting really obsessed with the book as well. Like if people
that
were
would've
like
been cool.
flicking through it and like kind of investigating it too much, they would start to go insane. But you guys didn't really read.
I read it a bunch.
You read it once or
No,
twice.
I read it every single long rest. I tried to read it,
I remember,
but
You know, you did it twice.
but we didn't have a lot of long rests. That's the only reason. Every single time we had a long rest, I tried to read it, but we only had like Oliver only had like 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, that's because you died. I forgot about
because you're a
that.
bad gamer.
Yeah. Anyway, that would have been fun, but I kind of didn't end up going with that because I had so many other things as well.
And it turns out we're really,
Terrible.
Dumb.
yeah, all of those words at following directions because Lucy wanted us to do one thing or 2 things and we definitely decided option 5.
Yeah.
We also had a habit of any time we met an NPC, we would say "fuck off."
Yeah.
Mainly because Lucy plays NPCs very suspiciously.
No, I don't.
Okay. There's something about Lucy's voice that whenever we do games where like there's a figure that has to lie, I'm immediately suspicious of Lucy every time, even though she's like most of the time probably 90% innocent.
Okay.
I'm just I
Here's
hear
the
her
thing.
say something and I go, she's the fucking werewolf or she's the fucking imposter.
We play Among Us a fair bit. I have been the
When
imposter 3 times total in my entire life. One of those games you got disconnected in 45 seconds.
One of them we voted.
I
just
got
straight away.
voted out so much. So much. It's wild. And we play like a lot of board games and stuff. You guys just constantly think I'm lying and it's so unfair.
Here's the
It's just-
thing.
I don't
Here's
know,
the thing,
it
and I
sounds-
think I've cracked the code. Lucy's normal voice and Lucy's serious game voice are so different that it feels like Lucy's lying. Because when Lucy's normally talking, she's very free flowing. When she's playing a game, her cadence changes to "I would never do something like that."
So then
Because I love
You
board
could not
games
catch
so
me
much.
being a murderer.
I
So
love
then-
games so much. I get
I
really
actually-
into them.
Think that I saw somebody vent.
I was so angry the time you guys thought I was the robber in Catan. That was bullshit.
Wait.
Very good. Yeah.
The little grey figurine, yeah. I've always suspected it was you.
I was so happy with that joke. I didn't even pay attention to see if you guys laughed or not. I was just real happy with myself.
Yes.
I just
So
got
that
confused.
I guess that just translated to your NPCs, and we didn't trust a single fucking one of them.
No, which is
Except
so
for the
unfair.
except for the weasel and the tree.
Mm.
We'll get to the tree.
I think
The
the
tree.
yeah, we'll get Bella.
He doesn't remember. He would have been drunk.
Yeah, I mean you could say that about all of it. Anyway, so you guys left none.
Yeah.
You fought some
Hyenas.
hyenas.
Yeah, and I tried to befriend one and it bit me, so I killed it.
Yeah, that was really the beginning of the end for Oliver.
Oh, cute. Ow.
Yeah.
Oliver was pretty
Your
strong.
first murder.
Moida. You also there was one that was like limping away, so you fucking skinned it or something.
Yeah.
Room to grow.
Cut its legs off, and then went, it's part of the battlefield, mate.
I was kind of like very intentional about having the hyena bite you, not like befriend you or anything, because you guys were gonna encounter like more creatures that you could choose to fight or not, and I wanted you guys to be really thinking about it, not just immediately going to befriend them or fight them.
Undertale.
No, I've never played.
That's just like Undertale.
So you guys got to Matern.
Yeah.
That was the next locale where people were getting unwell, and you guys met
Brick.
Breck.
Brick.
And the old man.
Brick.
And the old man. So Matern is, because I should preface this. All of these were based on unsolved mysteries. All of them. A lot of pieces were based on unsolved mysteries, or like
The
mysteries.
TV show?
No, just mysteries in general.
Book.
A lot of them I learnt about from Jackson Bailey Spooks America. This is your ad. This is listen to Jackson Bailey Spooks America. Anyway, but there was a couple times where I wasn't.
Sub for sub.
I learnt about it from a place that wasn't there, and then they would do an episode on it like 2 months later, and I was just like, fuck. Like just before we did the last session for spring, they put up an episode about Betty and Barney Hill.
Funny.
Which is unfair. Anyway.
Well, to be fair, there's only 6 unsolved mysteries left in the world, so.
No, there are so many.
One of them is about the tsunami in my house.
Yeah.
Tommy with the tap on. Now there's only 5 left. Anyway.
And then there's the one about how I can't find my knife when I'm looking for the toast brusher.
Shut up. Okay, you guys,
I reckon we leave it at that.
you got to Matern.
We did.
It wasn't that funny.
I just realised that I couldn't think of the word for a knife, so I called it a toast brusher. But I
You
just
said knife as
knife
well.
a second ago. And so, like, in my head, I was like...
I couldn't find the knife when I was looking for the... What was that word I used earlier?
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, toast brusher. Anyway.
Yeah. I think Matern was where we got really fucking confused because everything was wrong, and then we just went... Ugh. And
We
so
kind of went, fuck this shit, we're out.
So we were so fucking lost, and that's why we spent, like, I think, because you cut that down from, like, 6 hours to 1.
No, it wasn't. You guys are being very dramatic. I cut it down from 2 hours to 1, which is only a little bit higher than the ratio of what I usually cut.
The other 50% of it was us just going, baby.
There was a point where Charlie actually just stopped talking through the middle of it and went, oh.
I
Like
imagine
Tarzan.
I was just swapping between the two voices, not contributing anything helpful to the plot.
I couldn't smell.
The thing is, there wasn't much to figure out. You guys just needed to do anything.
The issue
That's
was...
right, you got really angry because you went outside to look at something and I smelt it from inside or whatever.
So I said I couldn't smell, yeah.
Yeah.
My, I think I'm going to say the reason why we're confused. We got there expecting to see a guard's tower and Betty and Barney, and they both weren't there, and Charlie thought they had gone there, so all our information in our heads was scrambled, so we were sitting there going, but if there was a guard's tower here, then where did it go? And there's something in the mountain, and there's something going on, and we thought that the whole town was lying to us, and it didn't help the fact that you sounded like a suspicious little woman.
Yeah.
Or that I...
That's actually my favourite sequel to one of my favourite movies, Suspicious Little Woman. Follows just a little woman.
Yeah. Doesn't help that I was also lying about having been to these places as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
I was the only
facts.
person telling the truth.
Oliver was so lost.
Bazza
So
was
yeah,
telling the truth.
room to grow, I guess, is a truth in some ways.
Well, he was like, there's supposed to be people here, and they ain't.
Anyway, so you guys got to Matern. Matern was a town in America ages ago. I mean, I think it's still a town.
What state?
And I don't know.
Hampshire.
Liquid.
Constant despair.
And so there was a guy going around gassing people, and it never killed anybody. It would just like make people sick and then pass out, and then they'd wake up and they'd be fine. But it was happening a lot. And there were like footprints found outside someone's house, and there was like a hole found in somebody's car after like people were like gassing people and they were getting unwell.
I think
This
this
face
was...
is Charlie going, I've heard this on the dollar.
Yep.
Hey Charlie, you have.
Yep.
Mattoon is a city in Illinois.
Oh, you did not. Illinois.
And so yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
heard that on the dollar.
and yeah, that's kind of what I based like bits and pieces of that on. Brick wasn't gonna hurt you guys or anything. I just wanted a spare pair of hands on your journey, and you guys refused.
Didn't need it.
Wanted to kill.
No,
Oliver needed it.
I think we asked her to come along, but she was the city's main healer. Like,
Yeah, we asked
she
her to
had
come
No,
along
you
at the
guys-
end, but that was after we'd already ruined her life and stuff.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that was
And
after
threatened to kill her a couple times.
Did super want to kill her.
We got in the cart, and I think Oliver said, "Yeah, we were gonna kill you, but we
the
wanted
car?
cart."
Then after that was the Plumas Pass, which was
Yeah.
based on the Dyatlov Pass.
Plumber's crack.
I knew I could shut up. I knew I could use Dyatlov because Tom knows about that, and we'd been talking about it like a week before.
What is Dyatlov?
It is
I'm gonna guess here and say that it's an unsolved mystery.
You nailed it.
You solved it.
It was a pass, I want to say in Russia, but I think I'm wrong.
Dyatlov? That sounds Russian.
Yeah, it sounds Russian.
If you do it in
And-
a Russian accent.
Yeah.
That's true.
And really-
McDonald.
It does help. It does help. And a group of students went up there on like a wee camping trip and all like passed away, and they don't know why. One of
Zombies.
the main goes was that there was a small avalanche and they died of paradoxal undressing, which is when you get hypothermia like so quickly and suddenly your brain gets scrambled and thinks you're getting really, really hot. And that is a big old killer. And yeah, that's like one of the going theories, and there's a few other. A lot of them are like super paranormal, and there was a movie about it as well.
Are you sure you didn't talk to Charlie about this and not me?
No, I've talked to you about this.
I know you reviewed.
None of this rings a
I
bell.
know.
You talked about this when we finished the spring campaign. You told us about it.
Tom and I were talking about it a week beforehand as
Oh.
well.
I think as we go through each of these mysteries it's based on, we solve them.
Yeah, so real quick solution for this one. I don't think it was hypothermia.
I think they all headbutted each other at the
That's
same
what
time.
I was going to say. They all hit a tree real hard and went... "Ooh."
Well, I guess it's got to be true then.
Yeah.
Did you ever think we were going to make it through Pluma's Pass, or was your plan to always have us be
I-
losers and turn back?
I didn't think you guys were going to. It was going to get like more and more toxic as you went up, but you guys were going to find out more and more about Elizabeth, who you'd meet at the end, if you guys kept going. And yeah, but the zombies were going to be kind of like a constant threat because they're dead and they can get up, and that's, yeah.
I was hoping that we would get a TPKO and Lucy would have to go, okay, now who can I give the book to?
It's, yeah, if you guys had done that, I think my sneaking suspicion, like my vague idea was I was going to make you guys Betty, Barney, and somebody else.
And Jonathan.
And Fred Flintstone.
Something like that. And then, like, from that, I don't know, you guys would have done something, I would have figured something out.
We'd have just come back as undead.
Could have been a possibility. I had a few ideas, you know, bouncing around.
Nah, I'd hate that. I'd hate to play anyone undead. That sucks. That's lame. Carry on.
Anyway, and yeah, so the other thing with like how I dealt with unsolved mysteries in kind of this sense was I would take like the base idea for a mystery and then I would come up for a really ridiculous reason as to why it was happening, and that's kind of what I did in the world. Yeah.
Which is kind of how it happens in real life, really, because a lot of unsolved mysteries, the only reason they're unsolved is because the people who are trying to solve them are fucking stupid. They're like, oh, a dead guy washed up on the beach? Must be a Russian spy. And actually, it's just some girl's crackhead dad. You know, like, there's always something going on, you know?
Why is your dad?
Tom has a hot take on unsolved mysteries.
I just think a lot of them are fucking bogus sometimes. Like, some of
Yeah.
them are very much like, oh, I wonder who did that. Like, the gas guy? Who did that? But there's one, I love this one about a dude who he washes up on a beach dead in Australia, and they spent ages trying to figure out who it is. I love the story, and all of the like mystery behind it's amazing. But there's so many theories that just, to me, it's almost like, maybe this dude was just a crackhead who died.
Anyway.
And he had a daughter.
And he had a daughter.
Also, I keep forgetting to name the episodes as we go. We had Heart to Heart, Hyenas and Harry. I really struggled to say that. Heart to Heart, Hyenas and Harry. The Sickness of Mattoon. And that was the Gasser of Mattoon, I think is what the original statement was. Like, the title of it is. Hey look, Ogre there. There's no jokes, there's no, like, interesting stuff about that. Made me giggle.
How dare you?
You
That
wrote
was a
it.
fun pun I made.
You
in
wrote
the
it, and I
episode.
love it, but there's no, like, oh, this is why this is called this.
Well, it's called that because there was
I
an
said
ogre
it.
in the episode.
Oh!
Yeah, I know Charlie was confused, because I really was too, but then I read the description of the episode.
I don't listen to Season Quest.
Me neither.
Neither, really.
don't
I
listen
edit it
to
and then
it.
I don't listen to it again.
Wait,
I mean, why
people-
would we? We're here.
People can hear this.
Oh no. You guys can hear me? Just you three sitting in front of me?
Nah.
Sometimes it feels like Lucy's still with us.
That was mean. I didn't like that. Anyway, you guys made your way back to Mattoon and carried on to Gévaudan.
After a really long fucking time.
After a while.
And
At
then
this point, we're on episode 5.
Oh, can we just quickly talk about the fucking horse we tried to steal?
Oh yeah, the conscious horse, and then because you could speak with animals, I made it talk back to you because that's how speak with animals work. And then you got really scared about sentience.
And then I let it free.
Yeah, it was nice.
I think Oliver. One of my favorite parts about Oliver was his blind ignorance to the world. Which it's really fun to play characters who don't know anything about nothing, because they'll be going out into the world and they'll be like, "Oh, what's fire? Oh, that's a hot thing. Great."
Weren't you 400 years old?
Yeah, but I lived inside a tower for fucking half of that, and then for the rest of it I was working at a university teaching biology. I was not fucking advanced.
Yeah.
Teaching biology at a university, not advanced. All professors have to learn fire hot.
Yeah, but let's think about this. This is like medieval times. Biology wouldn't have been that complicated.
Yeah, it would have been
4
plant
humors.
green.
And he was replaced by a weasel who seemed to teach the class better.
Yeah, well, and I died. No one gave a shit, so...
That's true.
Yeah. Oh well. Then we had horsing around and Gévaudan bound.
Yeah, that's the horse.
That was the horse we're talking about.
And I just said it.
You guys had a long rest around this point, and you met one of my favourite cryptids in the world. I don't remember who met up. Probably
Me.
It was Tom.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm the
Because
one
you
who
didn't
has
have
to
to
ice
sleep.
sentry rest.
And it was why can't I remember what it's called?
Mothman.
Ningen.
No, you keep saying that, but it's not.
Ningen.
It was
Ningen.
my darling little friend.
Bakugan.
No,
My darling
Ningen.
little friend.
It's like a seal with legs. It's so cute.
Oh, I love
That's
them.
a dog.
Let me find a picture. For
That's
those
just a
listening at
dog.
home, Google Ningen to see Tom's
Spell
favorite cryptid. Ninggen. My second favorite cryptid, for those wondering, is the Loveland Frogman. I like ones that are silly.
Oh, I love him.
That's not a dog.
I've remembered it now. The Fresno Nightcrawler.
Oh, that's
And
right.
they're big long creatures with 2 legs, and I love them so much.
They're puppets.
And for you guys sitting here, this is a drawing of one, but that's what they
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
that's what they look like.
Oh, it does look a lot like
a
your
tall
seal
ninja.
one.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a Ningen but skinny.
Yeah, they're like tall, thin,
She
like,
ain't thick though.
tall, thin, pale creatures with just kind of 2 legs and 2 eyes, and that's kind of their whole deal, and they just wander, and I love them so much, and they're called Fresno Nightcrawlers, and I love them so much.
I was going to base my campaign around cryptids, and then we played Spring, and it was very, like, a mystery and cryptid stuff, so I just, like...
Speak at the microphone.
I'm looking at the rain. So I kind of felt like I couldn't do that, so I had to change everything.
It's, the
You
thing
ruined
is...
Tom's campaign.
Yeah, the thing is, you mentioned this, like, just before we were about to start Spring, and I came up with this plan, 2019.
Cool.
Within a week of coming up with Season Quest, I was just like, mysteries.
Yeah.
My 2 favourite things. And I felt real bad, because then immediately after that, I moved in with Tom and Charlie and would start to talk about unsolved mysteries, but I couldn't really get into it, because I had all of them in my campaign. And then once we finished doing Spring, Tom and I sat down for about 3 hours and talked about unsolved mysteries, and it ruled.
We did it a lot, actually. Lucy and I were friends, because this was after Charlie had moved out, and so Lucy and I were friends. Lucy and I were
Charlie
friends
was
when
no
Charlie-
longer the wedge between their friendship.
Yeah.
Every time they started to talk, I'd be like, no.
If me and Lucy had a private conversation, Charlie'd walk in and kick one of us in the jaw until we stopped.
And even if we were just like talking in the living room, we'd be talking to each other. Charlie would stand right in between us, face one of us, and just start a different conversation. And he would get really close to your face.
And because I have ADD, it would I'd change turns so quick. I wouldn't even be. I'd be done.
Yeah, you
I'm already in the other conversation. I don't even know who's Lucy.
Anyway, weird wolves and wild magic.
This was the. I was gonna say this is the first fun part of the campaign. This was the first like super awesome, really cool where I went, whoa, holy shit, this is awesome part of the campaign, because it was the first time where there was like, it felt like we had a mystery in the world, because the other mysteries, we were there, we saw them, but
The
we
mysteries were kind of happening around you, and
This
you
one-
didn't
this one-
dig into it.
We couldn't solve the other mysteries.
yeah, but
was
these
the
ones
issue.
we solved.
It was a lot of fun. We also had wild magic start around
Yeah.
this point.
This is the episode where Lucy lied about how wild magic worked. And blatantly said that it was only activated by rolling a 20, and then was activated by both 1s and 20s.
Well, here's the thing. I accidentally did something that I was planning on doing. Because I was going to have it move to 1s and 20s, but just immediately after Givaudan, not during it, and I just forgot.
Yeah.
Because they were separated by sessions, because fun fact, we don't sit down and do all of Season Quest at once.
Could you imagine us sitting down and recording like 13, 14 hours worth of Season Quest?
I
That
would rather
suck.
die.
We're doing a 24-hour live stream tomorrow.
I have work.
Me too.
That's a shame.
Great, it's just me sitting at home on the live.
Oh
stream.
no, I'm
Charlie.
taking a camera with me.
Charlie's not working.
I'm very busy.
Doing
Got
Not hanging out with me.
beers to drink and people to kill.
Yeah, what you guys did Givaudan?
I love
What
it.
mystery was this based on? Let's
It
solve
was-
this one.
Based on the Best of Givaudan, which is a story about a town called Givaudan in France. And there was a bunch of wolf attacks, or werewolf attacks. They were saying it was like this giant wolf or werewolf, and they didn't really know which. And there was a kind of like going idea about it was I think it was king at the time. I'm trying to think of who would be in charge. Duke, maybe? Something along the lines of that. Their sister or daughter, was going around killing people, and they made up the wolf stuff to cover it. So I just combined the two of them.
You remember the mayor?
So I think in
Maybe.
reality, it was that dude's dog.
And I think in reality it was a werewolf, because werewolves are real.
The dog was a werewolf. Mystery solved.
The dog was a werewolf.
I think we didn't solve it till the next episode.
We're solving the real life one though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like we didn't solve it till the
No.
next
we
episode.
didn't solve it till
So
episode 9.
We should have named the episode One Night Penultimate Werewolf.
That was the other thing about this. I based it on the card game Werewolves or Mafia, depending on how you play it, where it's like a party game. Everyone gets a card, and some people are werewolves, and some people are the mayor or a cop or whatever else, or a hunter. You guys killed my hunter.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did.
don't say you guys. We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Troy, you killed my hunter.
Yeah, I discovered killing.
From Bazza and Oliver's point of view, suddenly Hunter got really nice, and then he was dead.
Yeah, it was a real shame because I also very nearly escaped. Hunter nearly walked out of there
He
with
did.
2 health points, and then you came up behind him and killed him, which
Yeah.
was tragic.
So I came into that session being extra chaotic, and yeah, Hunter died. I took his place for a while. I laid some groundwork for wanting to burn down a hospital. You know, the usual stuff.
You also laid some
stuff.
groundwork for you're like, oh, mayor, charge. Definitely don't trust the people that have joined.
Yeah,
Definitely don't.
Yeah, I definitely
Did do
turned
that.
the town against us.
They were already kind of against us.
No.
It was
Everyone
meant to be
is.
like an alibi kind of thing. Like, they'd be like, well, they wouldn't be dumb enough to tell us not to trust them, so...
Yeah, but none of it made sense. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Very, very much Troy not think.
Very much.
Yeah.
But it was so on brand for your character as well.
It was, and I think it created some enjoyable moments.
It was very funny.
This was also Bazza and Oliver's bonding moments. Where
It
we
was
had,
really
It
nice.
was room to grow.
Room to
We
grow.
smoked weed together.
We did big
Did.
kisses. Did we?
No.
You should have.
Anyway, so what my plan for Hunter was, and this is so annoying because you did what I wanted you to do. I wanted you guys to kill him, just not quite yet. So with the hangings and stuff that were happening each day, I wanted you guys to end up getting really suspicious of Hunter and vote him off. Because in Werewolves or Mafia, the Hunter's power is if they get voted off, they get to kill whoever they were voting for. So I was going to have him vote for a werewolf. You guys get super suspicious and kill him off. And all of a sudden he draws out his bow and he strikes a killing blow into this person's head. Gets killed immediately. And when both bodies collapse to the ground, Hunter's stays the same. And the other body, which would have been a werewolf, all the fur kind of comes out how I described it in the actual episode. And you guys would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
whoops. And that was going to be really fun for me.
When we were choosing...
That was
But
my
then
dream.
you learn players are chaotic.
Yeah, that was the dream, and it was very tragic. And then, the next 2 episodes were destructive detectives and suspicious suspects and big upsets. It's really difficult to say our episode titles.
Only spring.
Yeah, mainly spring. I had a lot of fun coming up with names.
Troy burnt down a hospital.
I did burn down a hospital. I enjoyed it. Good time.
And you know what? So did Nick Kidman. Nick Kidman also burnt down a hospital.
It was so weird that you wanted to do that.
I looked for evidence and I didn't find any, so I had to, like when you steal a car. Lucy, when you steal a car.
Yeah, so when I steal a car...
And then you have
Because
to...
A, I steal, and B, I can drive.
Yeah. But when you finish with the car, you have to burn it out. Like, that's
Yeah.
what they do.
That's the rules.
That's what you do.
That was the moment when Oliver turned on the party and went depressed mode. I'd said to Lucy beforehand, this is when Oliver's going to go back to his basics. He's back to the way he was when I planned him. And then immediately Troy burnt down a hospital and I just went...
And then asked you guys to lie on my behalf.
Yeah.
I think I was
You
having...
broke Oliver.
Yeah, I did.
It was so funny.
And then he died.
On that note, Anna asks, who is the most chaotic player?
Oh, that's a great question. It depends on the situation. It depends on the character they're playing. I think Nick Kidman or Harry Shaft was the most chaotic character we've ever
One
had.
of those two. Grr.
One of the same, two halves of the same whole. That's probably the most chaotic character we've ever had.
The most chaotic person is us three.
The boys.
I think it's definitely
The
the
group.
boys.
Because...
I'm a little more classical when I play. What can I say?
okay.
But
but
I would
in
say we're all
summer-
chaotic in different ways. Because Troy, when he's playing D&D, he's very chaotic. He's going to kill an NPC that's super important or whatever. He's going to be like, hey, you're a child? Oh, here's a cliff. Fuck you, dude. I'm going to betray the party, whatever. Charlie just likes to add little silly twists on his characters to make them do crazy stuff. And
you want it to be like super Australian bard, but also he's not a bard. Don't tell anyone he's a bard.
He's more of a sword guy. And then my character, my way, I'm not really a chaotic D&D player so much as I am just a chaotic person who likes to spit in people's drinks and draw penis penguins on people's character sheets. So,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very chaotic, like in any sense, but I'm just quite stupid, which really sometimes transfers.
Well, to be fair, it should be called Stupid Quest.
That's genius. That's genius, Tom. That's genius.
Stupid sis.
Okay, anyway. And yeah,
And then,
Oliver passed away.
yeah, and actually relevant, Cyan asked, what is it like for a character to die, both as a player and as the other people? How do the other players who have watched the character die, and the DM who is the reason the character died?
Shall we start with you, the
Yeah.
character?
I kind of hated Oliver.
Yeah, you got real upset when you weren't as good as you wanted to be.
Yeah, I think my issue with Oliver was I'm the kind of guy who I love to heavy plan out characters and come up with tons of interesting backstory and tidbits and stuff like that. And Oliver had a bunch of that stuff, but I don't think any of it's super translated, so he just came across as kind of a weird guy. Yeah. I wasn't happy when he died. I still liked him, and I was just getting on track with the character again and making him doing the character development I wanted. But when he did die, it freed me up to do whatever the fuck I wanted. So this time, my next character, I didn't even Axel. I didn't even write a backstory for him. I made it up as we played, and that was really fun. Old dude who is a boat guy. Yeah, fuck it. His husband's dead. He has a husband, first of all. His husband's dead. Got eaten by a sea monster, I guess.
Because, yeah, the only thing I had was I was like, oh, for your new character, I would love it if this is how you got introduced.
Yeah. Because I wanted to be a frog
as
man,
the-
but Lucy said no.
My only thing was I didn't want to, quite get into the crazy absurd stuff.
I wanted to step
Yeah.
out of the ocean and go, hello, everybody. Oh, that would have been such a perfect John Mulaney moment when he slaps his big frog-like feet on the table and he goes, I'm John Mulaney. And, what if my frog character also did that?
And we're going to stop talking to Tom now? What
Can you
how
put
did
French
you guys...
people in your campaign?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
Are you going to be French?
No.
How did you guys feel about Oliver going? Yeah, also around this point, Bazza just started freaking out about all of the very unlawful killings, or technically lawful, but not very lawful.
This was when Bazza started to...
This was when
This
Bazza was
This was when
starting
Bazza moved into his room to grow.
He was in the room. He did care. Yeah, he was sad. Charlie wasn't sad.
The death happened right at the end of a session, and the next session, so at the end of that session, we were distraught. It was holy shit, this just happened. I can't wait for listeners to see and witness this. And by the time we next recorded, it had been like 2 weeks and we did not care anymore. And I realised halfway through that episode that he died, and that was why Tom was playing a new character. So I decided I was angry at Oliver for dying.
Yeah, you didn't process your grief very well, huh?
No, it's because I'd forgotten I had grief.
Very numb about it, and then suddenly anger. You were like, the 5 stages of grief. Okay, I'll skip all of them but anger, and then I'll move into acceptance eventually.
Yeah, that common step, identity fraud. We'll get to that.
The other thing that happened with Bazza is
theft.
Bazza had that moment where it was like the fallen soldier sort of thing, and like made me into a statue and stuff like that, and used mending and all that.
Oh,
That
true.
was
Like
really
everyone
good.
respect him.
Yeah.
And you got your friend Beauty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
Oh,
got a
yeah, the
fucking
little wolf.
dipshit dog.
Yeah.
Kick it.
Don't kick
No, I was so excited.
it. Little puppy for old Ruth.
That
Yeah.
puppy that
Right.
we definitely remembered for every episode.
Thing is,
Yeah,
it was...
we didn't almost forget about it for the finale.
I forgot about it every waking moment of season
The
quest.
thing is, I only made it a puppy because then you wouldn't want to use it in combat because I didn't want to kill a dog.
The only reason I didn't use Beauty in combat was because I never remembered that Beauty existed. I definitely would have.
Yeah, no puppy or no, Charlie would kill
Would
a
you
dog.
really have?
Yeah.
I would have made the stats so low though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie would kill a dog. I think
That's so
Charlie wouldn't
upsetting.
kill a dog.
all of us would kill a dog in D&D, except for you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Fun
and that-
fact, the first character I ever played, I was going to be a rogue who did a bunch of stealing and stuff, and like, I got kicked out of my last party because I stole all their shit. But then I just got too scared, and I didn't like being evil and like taking from my friends, so I
Which
just
is-
stole from other
then
people.
we just
Really,
bullied you
really
all the
bad
time.
at being evil.
And then I adopted a platypus, and I fell in love.
We also bullied Lucy a
And then
lot,
it got
but no-
deleted from the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy as well, whatever his name
You
was.
took everything from me,
Yeah,
and you don't even know who I am. I don't know why I remember that quote.
Punt
I
Robert.
showed you how to be evil.
You're so...
Yeah, he was trying to draw it out of you.
You messed with me so much during that campaign.
When I DM, I usually latch on to the person who responds the most to being messed with, and mess with them further.
I like.
It's so sad.
I like to think about what each character needs to make them do what they want to do. So sometimes punting a character into oblivion is just what they need.
I was a halfling and they kept kicking me.
I like being DM so I can gaslight my friends.
And yeah, you guys left Jivadon and you went to
Went to
the
Stiltown first.
no, you guys went to the railroad.
Got in the whip. Went to Stiltown.
I wouldn't call it a railroad, I'd call it a rail water.
So you guys
I
went to
was
the
like,
rail water. Is it the-
Spirited Away.
Okay.
It was.
It's what it's really, really, really like is the the Harris Burdick mysteries, which is my favorite mystery, and it's not true, which I think is very funny.
Wait, what part isn't true that is? Your favorite mystery?
No,
It's
not a mystery.
It's not a mystery. It's just a story, but I love the story a lot. There was this guy who went to a like publishing house, and he had a bunch of like books. He had with him only like the titles and like a line from it and the cover of the books. And he gave them to the guy in charge there, and he was like, I'm a writer, I've done these like illustrations for them as well, and these are the titles. I would really love it if you guys like publish my work. And they were like, yes, this is cool, and we love it, would love to see all your stories and stuff. And he went, cool, I'll bring them in tomorrow. Like, hold on to these, I'll bring in all the stories tomorrow. And then he left, and he was never seen again, or never heard of again, and no one ever saw anything more of him.
Ah.
So it's just the cover.
Let's solve this one.
It's not real.
It's not real.
Wow.
I can solve it. The author of the book wrote a book called The Harriet Burdick Mysteries, wherein he made up that story to sell the book.
Wow.
The author like has written a bunch of stuff.
He's very cool. Cool author.
Hank Green.
Jiminy Cricket.
What else did
Jan
he
Goodman.
write?
All right, everyone say your favorite author at once.
3, 2, 1.
Terry
Nancy
Pratchett.
Polinsky.
Oh, I think I remember what he wrote. Jumanji. That's
The Jack Black movie?
No,
he wrote the book.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That was
movie.
R.L. Stein.
He wrote the book, and also the Polar Express is the other one.
Oh.
The
He does look like a
creepiest
Polar
uncanny
Express.
valley of movies.
Yeah, but
Tom
again,
Hanks.
the book.
What does the kid say when he turns around in the train?
Fuck.
He's like, The
I
really,
want hot chocolate because I'm a little kid. You don't know anything about trains. I'm going to eat you. Tell me about the train. About the train.
that's right.
Anyway,
Another mystery solved.
so, that's my favourite mystery. The
Kid from Polar Express.
No.
Americans and Irish, you will learn secrets beyond your comprehension.
the Harrisburg mystery is my favourite mystery, even though it's not true. And I'm gonna get a tattoo of it at some point.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of D's nuts.
And this was High Stakes and King Lake. King Lake is a reference to kind of an unsolved mystery, but it's not. It's
Was it solved?
no,
Yeah.
it's just it's.
There was this place called King Lake, and they weren't sure what to call it, so they called it King Lake.
So it's the host of Jackson Bailey Spooks America, Jackson Bailey, once thinks he saw a ghost horse. And this was where it happened, at King Lake. And so
Right.
it's just a wee nod to that. And then
Headless Horseman.
no, he did
Little Red Riding Hood.
I just don't think he saw a horse. It's my going theory.
Is that our solve?
I think
Horse.
that's
That's
what
our solution?
That's what I think. I just think he didn't see it.
He saw a horse.
He didn't. I just don't think he saw a horse at all.
He saw a tree.
Yeah, I think he saw a tree because it was night.
Solution.
The description for the episode you're talking about now, High Stakes in King Lake, is so not a description.
What is it?
In this episode of Season Quest, our heroes have a big struggle. Will they all get through? Will they find out who's who? Will there be an odd amount of character interaction? Find out on Season
That
Quest.
sucks.
Did I write that?
I don't know. That doesn't give us any
That
kind of...
sucks.
I usually write way
I
better.
feel like
I usually
I
write
think
That's
way better
Lucy's
descriptions than that.
normal pre-built one for like when she just doesn't like, and then she just
default.
That's the
and then she
template.
sent it by accident.
Why did I write that? That's so bad. I write way better descriptions than that. Fuck.
I think it was just because we wanted to be vague because it was the episode where Oliver
Died.
officially died and was brought back as another character. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because he died in he died midway through the episode.
I think my favourite description I've ever written is the one before that. Because it's in this episode of Season Quest, our heroes shift the blame. Will they find a good culprit? Will they follow leads? Will they shift the blame?
Yeah, you wanted it twice.
I thought it was really, it made me laugh a
Were you
lot.
on drugs for those two?
All of my descriptions follow the same kind of format. So you can tell if I write it or if Troy writes it, because my descriptions are always, this week on Season Quest,
No,
our heroes something, something, something.
that's basically what it is for every single episode.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
just
Troy's
swap out
ones are
little
always
bits.
like,
No,
Troy's ones
same.
always go like, in this wet episode of season.
They always start that way.
Yeah.
No matter
weird.
what.
So weird because none of them are that wet.
So the way they go is, this week on Season Quest, our heroes will do something, and then it's 3 questions, and then find out on Season Quest.
The final season, Tom's season, me and Charlie,
Final season.
me and Tom, I said me and Charlie. Me and Tom are going to write the descriptions.
That's true.
No.
And here's how every description is going to go. This week on Season Quest,
Umba
Charlie
Bumba.
says a slur.
I retract.
Charlie says a slur, or does he?
Anyway,
That would get people clicking because they'd be listening to the whole thing like, where does he say the slur? And then it's like, well, he didn't.
yeah. So you guys got on the railroad, headed over to Stumpland.
Railwater.
Railwater, sorry.
Introduction of Axel
Spirited
Axel.
Away.
and Stilt Town,
Still down.
That's what it's called, not
Which-
Stumptown.
which is
You
what
said Stumpland, didn't you?
Yeah, it's because that's what Tom said earlier.
No,
where
I said Stilt
It's
Town.
where
I know what it's called.
Stump Ball originated.
Can I tell you why I called it Stilt Town? Because I just started replaying Dead Cells, and there's a place in there called something like this.
What is Dead Cells?
It's a video game. It's called like the Stilts or some shit like that. And so I was thinking about that when I was thinking about where my character would live, because it's this like disgusting it's floating on the ocean on stilts. And there's like disgusting like fish creatures everywhere with one eyes that want to eat you. And when I was thinking about where my character would live, I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
And what's a video game?
It's like a digital game.
Ah, cool.
Another mystery solved.
And talking about the unsolved mystery of Stilt Town, Axel's chair on the roof. A lot of people were asking us about that in the comments. They were going, what is up
We
with the
had
chair
like
on the roof?
100 questions about
150
that,
questions. And so we're just going to answer them all right here, guys. The chair on the roof was a joke.
Wasn't real.
It wasn't real. It obviously real in the game, not real in real life.
I've
we didn't
got,
have a chair.
I've
didn't
got
actually
really
have a
bad
chair.
news for a lot of this. None of this stuff's real, guys.
What?
Not
You
our
guys-
friendship.
Yeah, that's the biggest lie of them all.
I drove you home.
Thank you.
Troy didn't fuck my wife?
No.
We found that out in the
No,
episode.
no, no. Troy fucked your wife. That Kidman didn't.
Similar, not the same. There actually was an unsolved mystery around there. There was something in the lake.
Oh yeah. The Loch Ness Monster.
Several fish.
Something that ate my fucking husband.
Every season.
Every season, including the Q&As.
Can't wait for autumn.
Oh, I can.
Anyway, so a lot of lakes have their own Nessie, and they're often just something assy, and I think it's very funny.
Kingy.
So yeah, that's just Kissy. Okay, there was Kissy in the lake, and it kissed your husband and stole him.
Yeah,
and he didn't
The
die.
one from Lake Champlain. I think it's like Champy or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Chappie wants to paint.
And so
Like
yeah,
garbage movie.
You get down it on the podcast. Probably.
so yeah, something in the lake. There was. There was going to be a couple more mysteries around there that I
Had to cut out.
Yeah, I had so many ideas.
right.
I had so many ideas for stuff I wanted to do.
Say some of them.
And then you remembered it was episode 10.
And
My
then
question is, say some of them.
I wanted to do the Norwegian spiral anomaly, which I didn't do.
The what?
Norwegian spiral anomaly.
So
There-
that's the holes in the wall, but they make you go spin.
Okay, Lucy?
There was a big old spiral of just like light above Norway once, and it looked like a big old like searchlight sort of thing, but it was spinning, and yeah, they don't know
That's
what did
awesome.
it, and there are videos of it.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
so
real.
let's solve this one.
It was
Northern Lights.
Space.
This is just what it looks like. Big old spiral in the sky. This is a terrible video. There are better ones, I promise.
That looks like a Marvel movie.
It actually was. Like it's a
It was.
It's a real thing.
I'm gonna surreptitiously guess Northern Lights.
There we are.
I'm locking it in. Wild.
Just a big old spiral.
A weather
light
balloon.
spiral in the sky.
Aurora David Boreanaz.
There's a quote from Jermaine Clement recently, and he said, yeah, one time I went out and I thought I saw a UFO, so I told my auntie, and she said that I was full of shit. But and then later on I was like, nah, it's probably just a weather balloon. But then I thought to myself, I've never seen a weather balloon in my life. I don't know if that's right.
It's always a weather balloon.
I don't think weather balloons are real. I think they're just an excuse to make up the fact that we think that they're
UFOs
real.
are more real than weather balloons.
True.
I was going to include the Happy Valley Dream Survey. I didn't. Basically, it was also a relatively recent one. There was all of like these posters put up a bunch of towns being like, have you had weird dreams recently? The main one it was in was Happy Valley, although there was a couple other places. Call this number, and if you call the number, it's just like really cryptic, and you have to ask like the right question, which I think is just what's the right question, and it gives you like some digits, and if you look it up, something fucked happens. I don't really remember this one. That's why I didn't include it in the end, because I didn't have enough details to
We
think of
also don't
something.
have Google.
Alright,
Weird.
try solve this one.
Yeah, you're the only one who's solved a single mystery so far.
Oh.
Just the only other thing I remember is people thought the world was going to end on the 5th of March.
Use that in
Last
your
year.
solution.
Anyway,
People think the year's going to end every year.
Go on.
Well, the 5th of March is obviously an anagram of March 5th of. And
Okay. No, he's got a point.
he's
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
point. He's not wrong.
Happy Valley is actually...
Wait.
Be quick about it, because we're
Wait,
actually on a
no.
time crunch.
The 5th of March is March 5th, faux.
Fuck, you're right.
Shit!
Yeah, and
I've cracked the case.
the phone calls... No, I don't know.
Anyway.
Sorry, guys.
I cracked this mystery right now.
Tom has it.
When I was in high school, me and my friends made a group chat where we did a telekinesis project where we all shared our dreams every day until we had the same dream. And we all had the same dream one night. And I think everyone had that dream. And it was actually us that set that up. This is not a lie. The end of it was, the first part, not a lie. Real fact. Me and my friends had the same dream because we were sharing each other's dreams so much in a group chat.
So Tom's
That's cool.
shitty group of boys made that happen.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
Me and 9 other people.
Anyway,
Sharing our dreams every day, putting a camel if we forgot it.
Happy Valley's got to call Tom's butt. So sorry.
I knew that's what you were going to say earlier as well.
Hello, Happy Valley? Yeah, it's me, the guy with the dreams. What do you mean 4.9 TT? Google it?
This is the Polar Express.
What the fuck?
That's basically
It's a
what
Ningen!
And then there was Who Put Bella in the Witch Elm, which is the
Queen.
long title for just,
Queen.
Bella. There was a skull found in a tree ages ago. Long story short, like people trying to figure out who the skull belonged to and why was there just a skull in the tree.
I'd like to take this one after you finish.
And
I actually have a cool fact to add on after this. So
they called her Bella, and there was a lot of graffiti around that said who put Bella in the witch elm. And yeah, they're just trying to figure out why her skull's in a tree. One of the going theories was she was a spy who died parachuting. Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear an awesome fact?
Yeah.
I don't remember the country, so I'm not going to say it because I don't want to sound like an idiot. In some country in South America, when a baby dies before its teeth come in, they bury it inside of a tree
Chile.
and then cover the hole until the wood heals over, and then they believe that the baby's been absorbed in the tree and its life will live on through there. And multiple babies are buried in a tree all the time. Pretty cool. So,
yeah, I can solve this one. It's the tree's skull.
Oh, that's a great point.
that's true. I forgot about that. I forgot all trees have a skull and they're always right in the center of the tree.
Yep.
And they're always called Bella. Yep. So that was for Axel's time to shine.
Yeah, it was. It was very sweet. I'm so glad somebody cared about Bella.
It's-
I was really scared no one was going to care about Bella.
I think we said I said to Lucy afterwards that Axel was supposed to be the super chaotic asshole who was like, fuck it, I don't care, and punch things. And he turned into being nicer than Oliver.
That's because...
You end up playing the opposite of your intention.
I think it's because, like, Axel was so dead set on, like, I'm going to be this very silly character, and you were so ridiculous with it, you couldn't get influenced by the others.
And also my irony, the fact that I was so... Like, I was pushing it further than it should have gone to the point where I did normal things, like good things. Because I was sitting there, like, talking, breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that, and then I realized, it'd be really funny if my character was actually a really good guy. that's the bit, you know?
And this is my favourite episode title, which Tom came up with. Moving trees? No thanks. Castle please.
And you guys got to the Glamscar Castle.
Yeah.
And also, before that,
And we
you guys
found out
saw...
that Axel was allergic to sugar.
you guys met Barney.
Yeah, we
We
did.
met up with him.
Barney.
And he was a dick. And we punched him.
So, Betty and Barney Hill are one of the OG alien abductions.
Yeah.
They were, they say they were taken by aliens one night, and they have, like, quite detailed descriptions of what happened and everything. And
Are
then,
the Flintstones characters named after them? Because that's Betty and Barney Rubble,
That's
right?
what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
I just,
Possibly.
I actually was...
Is Betty Fred's wife?
No, that's Wilma.
Ah, that's right. Wilma!
I actually was looking into them, like, a week ago, not even thinking about the Q&A. I was just reading about them, because I like to read about stuff sometimes.
The aliens or the Flintstones?
The aliens.
What are the future people called?
The Jetsons.
The
I
Jetsons.
literally just sung it to you.
Yeah, but I thought I heard Elstons or something when you sung it.
Yeah, you said Elroy.
You said Elroy.
Oh
His
my
boy-
goodness. hey, Charlie, guess where they were taken from?
New Hampshire.
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah.
Fun fact, I don't live there. Don't dox me.
Fun fact,
No.
Charlie's family does. Dogs them.
Fun fact, I used to live in New Hampshire. I don't anymore. You won't find me there.
If you go to New Hampshire and tell Charlie's family that you know Charlie, they'll say who?
He lived in Canterbury, New Hampshire.
No, because the
No.
Flintstones came out like a year before they got abducted.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's,
So
We've
another
got a
unsolved
mystery.
mystery.
So
that's
let's
why they were abducted. People
Yeah.
wanted the Flintstones characters.
another mystery solved.
Took those two people
The
instead.
aliens were like, we want Flintstones.
They're
And then
like-
they went, oh, you're not Flintstones, you're boring old people with dumb
Right.
heads. And they kicked them.
They're
And
not. They weren't old.
How old are they?
they are
Like
now.
35.
Ancient.
They are now.
And so that's Betty and Barney Hill. And yeah, in the campaign, they were somewhat abducted. They were like a lot of people were kind of
Tricked.
brainwashed.
Glamoured.
Sure.
Glampskid.
Look at this guy using
Sure.
his
Vampire knowledge.
vampire Twilight at Night.
I'm the third host.
No, you're not.
You're a guest.
You're a guest.
I came up with a bit and this isn't fair.
You
Anyway,
didn't come up with
I-
the bit.
I was there at the origin of the bit.
That doesn't
It was-
mean you came up with the bit.
No, it was the same night we were doing the fucking Shark Tank.
You want to know why you're the guest and not
Why?
a host? Because you call it a bit.
It's not a bit.
And I'm the
It's a
producer.
podcast.
I think this is a bit as well as we do Season Quest. It's a bit.
Yeah, but Season Quest is a bit.
Yeah.
Twilight Night's a podcast.
You guys are cunts. Anyway, jumping back to how we don't say cunt on the podcast much.
Fucky wucky cunty wunty. Ooh.
And so, yeah, you guys went into the castle and you met the character.
Oh, and it was your birthday.
It was my birthday, and we did meet the
Coniferous
character.
hair.
Coniferous hair.
And I tricked
And
him
the other guy.
by dressing as
Girl.
Oliver.
Oh, Claude.
Claude. Girl. Claude.
Queen.
It's a combination of two different castles, Glamis and...
Scar.
Who's the... you know the bit. Glamis and Hauska Castle. Glamis is a castle in England somewhere, I don't remember. And
I
there
think
was
it's in
a
Oldham.
For all of our English fans, say specifically.
Strathmore, I think.
I like Strathmore.
Anyway, yeah, it was this castle in like the 1300s-ish. Although it still exists now and you can tour it. There were like the families that lived there, and there would be the Duke of
Real fans will visit this.
of the castle and such. There was like the families of it, and there'd be the Duke. And there was a secret that would be passed down from like the Duke to who was like about to be the next Duke, and it would be kind of like when they were switching hands. And everyone before it was like some terrible secret. Tom?
We're switching hands.
Yeah, but don't make noises. You went like real loud.
So they know that we're switching hands.
And so as the dukedom got passed on, the secret would get passed on as well. And like all of the dukes would be like, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you about it, like to their friends, like, oh, I'll tell you about it when I find out. Like, it's fine, it can't be that bad. But it was a real horrific secret, apparently, and it would make all of the dukes like incredibly, incredibly sad, and they'd become very like antisocial, and they would never tell anybody. And it got passed on until there's kind of two ways people say it got lost. One of them was one of the dukes was just like, don't fucking tell me. I'm gonna forget or try to forget, and I don't care. Just don't tell me. So they didn't. Or the previous duke died before it could be passed on.
For me, curiosity would kill me. I'm a cat. I'm gonna solve this mystery real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Go back.
Go back.
It wasn't that the secret was so horrific that the dukes, didn't want to tell them. It's that they got so busy because they were so busy being dukes. They didn't have time to tell their friends about stuff. So they were too busy sitting in their house doing their duke stuff, like writing up duke laws
Getting
and
all
stuff.
depressed about it. And
Going, oh, I hate being a duke. But the
Yeah.
secret was actually really basic. Fun fact, the secret, the walls are actually greenstone, not lima beans or whatever.
The secret was the castle's Netflix password.
The secret was the Wi-Fi password for the better Wi-Fi, like the one, because if you get in the guest Wi-Fi, it's fine, you're kind of on that, but then you get the Duke Wi-Fi. The Duke Wi-Fi is crazy good. It's got like megahertz.
There was
Gigabit.
at one point the one of the duke's wives was trying to figure out what the secret was and hung like wee cloths out of every single one of the windows. Went outside to like count them all, and there was either windows that didn't have them or there like wasn't enough cloths. Like it's just like it didn't like the numbers didn't match up
Secret
for how many windows and cloths she put out for every single window she could find inside the house. And so yeah, one of the going theories was that there is a secret room, and one of the main reasons to why there was, people say, is there was how they kept the lineage of the family was real fucked up, and it was a lot of like inbreeding and stuff.
Yeah, the gross boy.
And the person that was kept in the walls, the person that was kept in the walls was like some horrific like inbred person who was actually at the castle, and the dukes weren't actually theirs.
2 dicks.
So
2 dicks, 3 necks.
And I say it in the podcast, but it's the direct quote was, "If you could even guess the nature of the castle secret," said Claude Bownline, 13th Earl of Strathmore, "you would get down on your knees and thank God it was not yours." So
That's
something
why I
fucked,
wanted to
apparently.
kill Claude when they said that.
Yes, thank goodness we didn't find any inbred hostages inside the
Wow.
Yeah, that was something I
wall.
didn't.
You're right, we found my sister.
Shit. So yeah, it's mainly based around the Glamis Castle sort of thing. Okay, we're gonna stop for a moment so you guys can giggle at this terrible joke. And so yeah, that was like the main base of the secret, and then the other secret, the story, the other part was Hauska Castle.
Huska.
Hauska.
Or Hauska, I can't remember. And basically it was this castle.
Hauska, I think.
Helsinki.
I'm saying that because I think you've told me that it's Hauska.
Yeah, okay,
House
fair
moving
enough.
castle.
That's the one. That's not the one. Basically, it was this castle that was built, and unlike most castles that are built to like protect from whatever's happening outside, it's to protect like from anything escaping from the castle. And there's this giant pit in the basement, which is believed to be a pit hell. And apparently, when people went into it, they would like age horrifically and then often like pass away.
Is it still there?
Yes.
I want to go in the hell pit.
True fans will.
I don't think.
True fans have carabined into the hell pit and seen God and said, fuck you, and then gone back out.
Nice
It
God in
feels-
there.
It
Is that a
feels.
bad thing? Did a naughty?
It feels like a kind of like mystery that'd be solved, but it's just I just don't think
I
people
think-
have looked into it.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it wouldn't be solved is historical significance. And so they would be like, no, you can't come in here because historically it's a hell pit, so you can't look to see if it's real.
So
Possibly.
they go in there and they age.
Yeah.
And they come out. Do they come out?
I think people
Well,
have,
it
and they would
depends
be
on if they're gay
aged.
or not.
I think people did, and they were like aged physically. Yeah.
All right, let's solve this. It is.
It's reverse Benjamin Button pit.
It's a pit of anti-Botox.
Anti-Botox. I love that.
It's a pit, and when you go into it, you come out and you go, I should have stayed in bed.
It's that fucking sad dog cartoon.
I should have stayed in bed.
I had some great ideas about what I was going to do with the castle. And by that I mean I had one particular joke I was going to make. I was going to have all of the staff be pale gnomes so that Earl Claude was short-staffed.
That's pretty good.
But I ended up going with the physical description of
Salt
the
cake.
people that work in the castle wear blue uniforms and have black hair, dark eyes, and prominent noses, bluish lips, and green skin. That is the description of what Betty saw in the alien spaceship.
Ah.
Yeah.
Lipstick.
Now, fun little factoid about that episode, that was actually Nick Kidman's birthday.
It was.
Yeah.
And another addition to the recipe book with the salt cake.
salt
Oh, the
cake.
salt cake.
The most exciting thing about the salt cake is actually pretty soon we've got a special episode coming out where we bake a salt cake for Troy's birthday and has to eat the whole thing.
Troy eats all of it.
And it's just a huge lump of salt.
I don't think you guys are allowed to do that to him. That's assault.
And you guys know I'm part slug, man.
No!
You smell
You'll
like it.
shrivel. And you
Slugs smell
guys...
Slugs.
And you guys eventually found a trapdoor, which was very exciting. I was so happy when you found the trapdoor.
I think my favourite part of us is the times that we've had to interrogate people. Because we had to interrogate someone to find this. There was a time when we interrogated, what's his name?
True.
Brett? B.
Who did you interrogate?
Barney?
We interrogated Barney outside.
Yeah, so we dragged Barney
Oh, yeah,
outside, and then Charlie was interrogating him. He slapped him, and then I took the lead, and I punched him in the jaw and knocked him out. That was fun. And then
Because we did the thing with, who was the head of staff?
Claude. I was just getting to that.
Yeah.
And then we went to the castle, we met Earl Claude, and we were like, Earl Claude, can we interrogate you? And she said no, so we kicked her ladder down, locked the door.
With the chandelier. You also went and interacted with her at night time because there was screaming and
Yeah.
she didn't hear it. You decided to
said-
ignore it and go back to bed.
Worst fucking guard.
I have to pee.
You guys were very good at
I loved
talking to
Axel.
people.
I
Yeah.
loved
Claude,
Axel.
in the end, just told us there was a reason we put you in that room, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
we'd find the...
That was
Trapdoor.
one half of like, guys, just have a look at something. And other part, also Claude wanting you guys to fix her problem.
A very wise man once said to me, a big open ocean scary the fish.
It's true.
That man was Charlie.
Yeah.
And so you guys
Thank you.
went into the basement of the castle, and I did something unkind.
Yeah. Trapped me in a sandpit.
Yeah, so the best
Oh, yeah.
my favourite thing I have ever heard in probably any podcast is in an episode of D&D is for Nerds, also by Sans Pants Radio, who does Jackson Bailey's Books America. The DM had a great trap room and basically...
Rap God just then, I think.
This is spitting bars.
And there was like a great trap room where one of them nearly drowned. And my favourite part about it was, okay, all of you have to stop talking right now. And I'm going to set a timer, and that's how long you have to do this. And I just loved having a timer to solve a problem.
You
I-
listed those riddles, and my mind went blank. And Charlie just answered them one after the other, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
you didn't say a word.
No.
Charlie just panicked and was
Can
like,
you
okay, I know this.
I had them
How
on
bad
lock.
it would have been if we both had gone in a sandpit and it would have been just Troy. Because I knew like all of the riddles except for I think one
Yeah,
of them.
I could see
And-
Tom struggling not to say them out
Yeah,
loud.
I was sitting there like,
I also loved like silencing somebody. Just like, nope, you don't get to participate in this, but you just have to watch and your fate's in their hands, and like if they screw this up, you're dead.
see, here's the thing, right? Charlie's good at riddles. I'm good at remembering riddles that I've already heard, and so that's our strength.
It's I was happy with the riddles because some of them were like a little bit weird. Like there was the like you walk into a room and it's got like a bunch of things you can light, and there was
That's the bit I missed in your riddle. I missed the bit where all of the objects were there, so I didn't hear all the answers are these.
yeah.
So then I was just trying to think of what the answers could be, which was so dumb.
Yeah.
because I wanted you guys to like think like, oh, maybe it's the candle, maybe it's the match. I don't know.
For someone who's on sheet intelligence was -2, I think I metagamed a little bit.
A little bit, but I was gonna let it happen because there wasn't time to kind of role play and figure it out. It was really up to you guys. And Tom was also very unhappy that I didn't let you guys have a long rest before the next bit.
Yeah. I died. I think...
Did you die again?
No, I
He
died.
was on death saves.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I got...
Didn't I give you some sort of healing? No.
You guys
No.
found healing potions in the next room.
I had, I think, before we opened the next door, 5 HP, and then immediately we met what's her name, and then she fucking shot me.
You got health potions. Can I just say, you guys got 3 of them. Charlie drank one because he was down like 7 health points or something.
Yeah.
And you
Needed
drank one and kept it. And I was just, in my head, I was like, why did Charlie take it? He's only got a little bit of damage down. That's not fair.
Yeah, and then I died.
Needed it.
Got knocked down, and then I got back up again.
What would you have done, Lucy, if Tom had died a second time?
Dealt with it.
I would have given him the character sheet for either Corniferous or Claude.
I think statistically I am the worst D&D player because I think my character has gone to death saves more than anyone else's.
Yeah.
But also, maybe you guys just hate me.
Can't wait to see what happens in summer and autumn.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was funny in this episode was the one NPC we trusted fully.
Yeah.
Was the one that
bad guy.
betrayed us.
I love that so much. It's because...
We were like, oh yeah, well, Coniferous and Earl are the bad guys, so this is good guy.
Yeah. That was somewhat the intention. I didn't expect you to trust her as much as you did, which was just entirely.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the fucking moment when you rolled the magic thing and it was like, resurrect yourself in the nearest corpse.
Yeah, okay, so we'll get to that in just a moment. Then there was also the cage filled with people.
Yeah. Well, you did the reverse on me that I usually do on you, where it's the person in prison who's evil, and you're like, person in prison's good, and I was like, okay, I trust it.
Yeah.
Turns out it was just person in prison was evil.
Yeah, because you
Wow.
were so convinced you're like, oh, she's doing a switcher on my thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just doing your thing.
Lucy and Charlie don't think anyone can be wrongfully imprisoned.
It's...
You heard it here first, Season Quest folks. If you've ever committed a crime and been to prison for it, not committed a crime and been to prison for it, Lucy and Charlie think you deserve
I
it.
think 60% of people who are imprisoned are wrongfully imprisoned.
I don't have a number in my head. So yeah, people in all of the cages. That's not a reference to any unsolved mystery or anything.
Just a cool thing.
I can
It
still
was
solve
just-
it. They were people that had gone missing from all over.
Oh,
Yeah.
very
And they'd
Oh, yeah.
appeared in this
You did solve
cage,
it.
and we were going to free them. My sister was there. She wasn't dead. Not everyone was dead in the cages, but some of them were. Some of them were trans. Some of them were glamscared.
Emotional moment, gang. Get fucked, Bazza, you cunt. I sat
cool. Bazza
there.
had an emotional moment.
I cried over my dead husband. Nick cried
Later.
over his dead sister.
She wasn't dead.
You cried
She
over...
was just in prison,
Oliver?
apparently.
Yeah, Oliver, and then I had like the moment at the end of the end with my daughter and my stupid fucking
No, I
wife.
meant in the cage. I meant in the cage.
Oh, in the cage.
Ruth, your
Ruth
daughter.
is not his wife.
No, it's his daughter.
My wife was named...
Barbara.
No.
Abby.
No.
Abby.
Abby.
And then you guys stumbled upon Elizabeth. Also, just a little bit of behind the scenes. I don't know why, but all over my character sheet I wrote Catherine. But, like, I had a map of the castle that I was just using for my personal reference, and like I had Catherine written down like on like my notes that I have instead of Elizabeth, and I don't know why.
Another
It's an
unsolved mystery.
There's
Let's
no
do
six
this one.
again.
Yes.
What do we think, Tom?
I think that Lucy's a fuckwit.
Okay,
Yeah, that
mystery
is-
solved.
Speaking of things being scribbled on character sheets, a lot of jagged lines, a lot of weird veiny objects, letters that mean nothing, words that just say nothing, and a lot of weird number patterns.
Good.
336.
So, Elizabeth Bathory was a real person, and this isn't really an unsolved mystery. This
Please
is just
don't go
kind of
too
like
deep into it.
I won't. I told Tom about it, and he got real stressed out because it's
Real gross.
it's real gross and real gruesome. Elizabeth was a serial killer many years ago. I don't have the days in front
Fuck
of me.
Nutrigrain.
The days in front of me. Basically, she was kind of, I guess, like a princess in some sort of ways, and then queen, because I can't remember the actual title that she had. And her husband, like, went away to war, so she was actually in charge. So, like, she could have been real cool, but she was just real fucked up and just kept killing people. There was a spring-based way she liked to torture and then kill people, but I thought that was a bit too rough.
Springs like metal springs, like
no, like
boing?
spring, like the season. In spring, she would
grow. Wait, I got this. She would put people in a bamboo plant.
No,
She would put them in a hutch filled with rabbits, and they would.
Ooh.
Nope,
she would put a bucket on someone's chest with a rat in the bucket, and then she would heat the other end of the bucket, so the rat got really scared and would have to eat his way through the flesh.
No, she would tie up, and she did this all to her servants as well. She would tie up her servants outside, cover them in honey, and they'd be eaten alive by bugs.
I'm allergic to bees.
Yeah, that would kill you, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely that, and not the fact that they were eaten to death by insects. Anyway, it was also
Why
said
didn't they
that
stop after the honey was gone?
I don't know.
Bugs are dumb.
And
Because the taste.
I think she had to put more honey on them if they stopped. It was said that she bathed in blood, but I think it's more realistic where she would have, like, from torturing people, there'd be so much blood that she would just mess with it. Anyway, she was really, really scary. She killed hundreds of people. It's to be said. I think she was only charged for like 90 or something along the lines of that, but it was realistic. She killed like hundreds and hundreds. Anyway, we're going to carry on.
And it was the Middle Ages, so she was probably only put in prison for like a week.
How bad do you have to be at killing to get caught in the Middle Ages?
Oh, it's
Well,
killing hundreds.
200's pretty.
I guess you have to be good at killing.
She wasn't hiding. She was in charge. She was in a castle or whatever, right?
Yeah, she was.
True.
She had servants, and she just kept killing her servants.
Yeah.
So they just kept having to hire people, and they would all just disappear. It was really weird that she didn't get caught for ages.
She's like,
I don't think it's really weird. They're dumb back then.
all of my people, please witness as I kill this person. And every single person closed their eyes. Nobody wanted to catch her in the act.
I pretend I do not see it.
Stick their fingers in their ears and go la 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 la.
Yeah, so you guys.
One of us should have jumped into hell.
Axel was gonna.
I thought I was gonna die.
I was gonna have one of you guys fall on, but that's just not the way the cookie crumbled.
We love pits and season quests.
Did you?
We do love pits.
Pit 5.
Season curse.
Did you almost die?
Probably.
Was Charlie rolling death saves? Or
I was.
Something happened to Charlie's character, and I was like, oh. They've both had rotten luck. I am hella gonna die in this finale. There's nothing I can do to survive.
Yeah, I don't plan out who I plan on killing. None of, all of it was incidental. Anyone getting hurt. It was bad luck that it was you twice. You just happened to walk into the trap room first.
I do think that Lucy just hates me.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's unrelated, though.
I think that everyone wants me dead.
Was there a pit?
No.
No.
You guys had to. There was water.
We also fell into that hole with the.
At the end there with the earthquake, and you all fell in.
Yeah.
That's kind of a pit. Now means I have to put a pit in my life.
You gotta be part of the pit bit.
The pit.
The pit.
The end of this pit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I hate pits.
We had to say
That's Tom's biggest pitfall.
There'll be a pit. There'll be a pit. Be prepared.
And
pitfalls. They're like waterfalls, but it's called pitfalls for some reason.
Yeah.
Unsolved mystery solved.
Okay, just to go back a little bit to the bit where we saw all of the characters in the cages, kind of relevant. Who's your favourite character, and do an impression of them?
Ooh.
I mean, I have my answer, and you've heard my impression. My favourite character was Axel. My wife, and then I have to do my John Mulaney impression. It's just not good. And I and Grant.
My favourite character was Axel, but I can't do that because that's me.
Selfish.
So I'm going to do a different one, and I'm going to go with...
I'm gonna go with the little ferret who's scared of everything. I got anxiety.
Firstly, it's a weasel.
Sorry,
and secondly,
that's
I
right.
was gonna choose existential crisis weasel.
You've got to do it now, too. This is the new bit.
Do I have to do existential crisis?
I want to
No,
hear
just
your
on.
impression, though.
I'm Nick Kidman.
Because I believe it was me who first named existential crisis
Yeah.
weasel.
That's true.
And here's my impression of existential crisis weasel by Charles. What is life?
You were going to do that shit. I just knew it. The moment you stopped, I went, yeah, Charlie's going to do a deep voice and he's going to go, what is life?
I think my favourite character was Charlie doing that deep voice now.
Here's another one of my favourite characters, Bazza Brown. G'day, I'm Bazza Brown. I'm from Moon, Australia.
Non-Australia.
Non-Australian. That was a good bit. Non-Australian. I forgot about that.
That was a good bit.
Been smoking all morning. Sorry for the throat problems, guys.
We have a couple more quick questions, unless you have anything else, Lucy.
Go for it.
As the editor of the story, Lucy, who have you had to cut out the most of for trailing off during sentences or just getting distracted?
Tom, definitely.
I have a disorder.
The amount, the problem is, the amount, because we're so used to it, I'm doing it now as well. We talk to Tom so much that Tom will get like halfway through a sentence and then like pause and then someone else will just jump on and continue. So I just have to leave in a lot of our just pauses and like, not pauses, but like end of statements that aren't ends.
Yes.
It's fun though. I have to cut out a lot of really stupid stuff. I think the stuff I have to cut out the most is Tom doxing me. As Charlie is about to say.
Cum jokes.
And the reason I had to not use its previous one is Tom doxed me again.
I didn't leave that one in.
No!
Funny for the bit, right?
I don't think we answer this because we were asked what our favourite season was. Instead, favourite episode of spring.
Rude. Yeah.
Well, my favourite season is autumn.
What
It hasn't happened yet.
What's everyone's favourite episode of spring?
I'd probably like the tree episode.
That would have been Moving Trees. No, thank you. Castle, please?
Yeah.
Episode 11.
Funniest title.
Funniest title.
Funniest character, Axel. And also I think we punched a dude in that one. So I like that one. That was a good, and it was also one of our ones where we got to a place and we just were like, fuck it, let's go shopping. That's funny because we don't do that very often.
Yeah.
I like that episode a lot.
My favourite to play was definitely the like one night ultimate werewolf, like just going in and trying to figure that out while also doing silly heist disguise things.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah,
just
that
it
was
gave me
great.
a lot to do.
I loved sitting in a house and then a werewolf attacked and I went, oh fuck. So I had to run.
I had so much fun doing all of Givaudan. That section was only meant to last a couple episodes. I think it lasted 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 2 or 3 sessions. Just because it was so much fun, like to be in any part of it, that I was just like, we're going to keep doing this bit and we'll fine. It's fine. I'll cut something else out. It'll be fine.
My favorite was probably, I guess I have 2. The one in Plumber's Pass where we were fighting zombies and I was just completely unaware for half the fight.
That was pretty cool.
That was fun. Just giving out bardic inspiration to our enemies is always a good time. And then when Axel got introduced, because there was a complete dichotomy between Charles the player and Bazza the character, because I fucking was losing my shit over Axel. Just absolutely loving it, and Bazza was the most uncomfortable he ever has been.
Another thing, like we mentioned earlier, that I really loved having was Wild Magic. Wild Magic was such a great
I was
bit to add. And it was some really fun stuff that came up as well. You getting permanently speak with animals was cool.
That was tight.
That was so great.
I was pretty gutted that I lost all access to spells when Oliver died.
Yeah.
Especially when we got to the point where we were in fucking Voynich and it was fucking like sixes and onwards. Wild Magic.
Also, just sorry if you can hear a background noise. It's just started raining really hard. Like it's been raining this entire time, but it's really coming down.
It
Yeah,
is
there's a
raining.
hurricane.
The boys are not peeing.
There's a typhoon at the moment. There was a point around the middle, no, like near the start. As soon as we got the Voynich thing, as soon as we got the word Voynich, Troy Googled Voynich and then went, oh, Voynich, it's a city in Germany. And Troy's like, Troy, the fuck!
No, it was because we were talking about place names, and you were trying to figure out what Voynich meant, so you Googled it, and you went, the Voynich manuscript? I just went, try it. And you stopped reading, thankfully.
I did, and I didn't look it back up, even though I was like, oh, if I look it up, I'll get spoilers. So I just didn't.
Also, immediately after we finished Givaudan, Tom had this thing come up on his timeline about the Beast of Givaudan.
Yeah, on my
It
Facebook,
was
and I
wild.
sent a screenshot and said, look, it's what Lucy did.
Yeah.
We just got a question anonymously. My crush recently asked me to join his D&D game because his healer dropped out of the group. He's never really talked to me before this. I can't tell if he likes me or he's just being nice. What should I do?
I'd like to take this one if that's okay.
Okay,
Go
yeah,
for it,
you've been the DM the longest. You kind of get D&D.
I think it seems pretty obvious at first, but this is actually a pretty complicated one. 5th edition has a lot of options for healers. So what you want to do is the cleric is your main choice, right? But it's so much more. You can be a bard of the dream, which also has a health pool. You can be a paladin, which has lay on hands. There's so many healer
the monk
options.
Way of the mercy.
Yeah, exactly. There's it's really up to you. I think if it's a specific healer class, you might want to go cleric, just because.
But even then, clerics have so many options outside of healing.
Yeah.
So
It's really up to
go
you.
with your gut.
I hope that answered your question.
Is that the entire
That's
joke you
such
set
a
yourself
bad
up?
bit.
That's such a bad bit and I'm keeping it in. What a terrible bit. That's so
Alright,
funny.
I thought it was funny.
It's funny.
but
It's not as funny as you set it up to be.
Yeah, you
hyped it up for like weeks.
Because I thought we were doing the question and answer thing that week, so I was like, oh, I should do something funny, and then I thought of that, and then we waited a month.
No, we didn't. We waited not even 2 weeks.
Anyways, Troy time.
Izzy asks what your favourite moment to DM was for all of us.
You guys were all a delight. Probably the trap. The trap was so much fun to do. And it's not for any special interaction. It's the only really mean thing I did. Except for make you guys trust Elizabeth.
And obviously, Lucy, you've just finished DMing this recap for your season. We've already recorded and released almost all of summer at this point.
All
Yeah.
of summer.
All of
Is
summer
that
at this point.
Because this comes out after summer, before autumn.
Spoilers for a bit for summer.
And then autumn is coming up. Where
Crazy
Tom,
that I was a crab.
Yeah, leave that in.
Okay. Spoilers for a bit for summer. And I'll just put that
edit
before.
in after. Yeah.
I don't think no one's gonna skip through a section, right? I hope they get spoiled. Anyways.
Tom will be the DM for season 4, which is autumn.
Yeah.
And Izzy asks what advice the rest of us have for him.
So I'm super experienced in DMing. I've been doing it for 64 years already. So, anything that you guys throw at me, just let me know.
Don't love anything in your world. Your characters will come along and kill it.
I'm well ahead of that. When we did Cyberpunk, and
We played
I had
Cyberpunk a while back, not on mic or anything.
and I had a secretary, and you guys just murdered her instantly, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I built health stats for her, I guess. Cool. Why did you kill the secretary, Charlie?
Did I?
Yeah, you wanted the badge.
Oh, true.
The
That's why.
secretary badge?
Yeah, she was wearing a badge with her name on
You
it.
answered your own
So he
question.
punched her to death, took the badge, and then stapled it to his skin.
My advice for Tom, having just DM'd summer.
Don't love your story, your players will take it over.
Just don't love anything.
Yeah.
Don't announce that they could potentially kill gods or leave the planet, because, yeah.
Because they will.
Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, guys.
We'll figure it out.
Sure.
I've never heard you say something more stressed.
I guess for a one season sort of situation, my advice would be have a through line, and a specific end goal, and then let them decide how they go about doing it, like rescuing Winter.
Or figuring out why and how magic has left the world and if they want to bring it back.
Or returning the book to its rightful place.
So my ending is going to be...
Just tells us all now.
And so you guys ended up fighting Elizabeth next to the scary hell pit, was the next thing that happened in the podcast.
God. What a bitch, right?
Yeah, really. And there was also tons of wild magic in that one. And then my favourite bit of wild magic that happened the entire season happened, where Elizabeth had, I think it was like resurrection or some form of spell cast upon her through wild magic, where if she died, she would be brought back, reincarnation, she'd be brought back as something nearby. So I made her Oliver. Oh, that was so great.
Very
Incredible.
I was so excited about that. And I was like, wait, I'll be right back, while we were recording. And I went to my room and grabbed Oliver's character sheet. and had it under all of my other papers so that no one could see what it was, and then I just dramatically revealed it to the table. I was very happy, very happy with it all.
Yeah,
That's a
great.
very cool moment.
And I was at the time crawling away because I'd just been fucking smacked out of oblivion,
Yeah.
did my death saves, and then Oliver came out and kicked me in the mouth and took me back down to death saves, and I went,
How was it for you being hit by your own character?
it's fucking wicked.
Like the musical?
Yeah, it felt like
I love fucking Wicked.
there was a point when I first started playing D&D, like my first game of D&D I ever played. This is kind of emotional thing, I guess, but my first game of D&D I ever played, the DM was like, I wanted to be a necromancer. The DM was like, I'm gonna make you a necromancer. There's not really like super true necromancy in D&D, but you can be like a necromancer, and we were like high level, and my thing was that I was so charismatic I would convince people to kill themselves so that they could be a part of my undead army. And that almost felt like that had been twisted on me and thrown in my face. Someone was like, hey, remember when you did this? Hey, fuck you, dick. Don't do it again. And I went, sorry, Dad. So I love that. Yep.
Necromancy is a school in the wizard
No,
class.
I know, but it's not like the way that it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because you can raise the dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like when I was playing, it was just like I didn't even have like spells or anything like that. I just
Dang.
would raise the dead and they would do what I wanted.
And with Elizabeth being dead, the curse upon the land was ended.
Hooray!
The people kind of broke out of their brainwashing. A lot of horrific stuff that was happening stopped happening. If you had been, I don't know, if you could see everything in the world, all of the undead in Plumas Pass would have just kind of turned back to actual corpses. People were getting less sick in Mattoon.
My
All
husband
of-
was still dead.
All of the werewolf corpses, although you guys did see this, turned back into humans. Just kind of all the really fucked up shit stopped happening.
I think I loved doing the epilogue. I think epilogues are my favourite part of Season Quest because
A good time.
when you play D&D normally, you don't really get a chance for an
You
epilogue.
never get an epilogue
'Cause,
because
like,
it's always going on.
If you're doing a one shot, it's like over, but like it's already midnight by the time you finish the one shot.
Yeah.
I've only ever done epilogues in Season Quest, and then in one like 3 session campaign that I did, and I love epilogues.
It was that one of the lockdown
It's
ones you did?
Underend.
Yeah, Underend.
Which it wasn't even like a super in-depth epilogues. It was just like, oh yeah, you become religious, you become guy, and you become guy. Like the epilogue for Spring was pretty long because we had all of us going through all of everything, and then we
Yeah.
all had to
Return
break down our
all
character
that.
stuff. Like Nick Kidman deciding to fuck off and giving Axel his house.
Yeah.
That was
Axel
great.
going, yeah, I'll move on from my dead husband and I'll start doing
Bazza's
teaching.
wife.
No, I'm gay. I started teaching at this school and I hooked up with the guy with
You
the
hit
tie.
up with the Professor
Yeah.
Stravestein.
Yeah.
How do you guys all feel about your epilogues?
I loved my epilogue. I mean, Oliver didn't really get one, but I guess that's because he was dead. Like, no one reacted to Oliver's death super harshly, except for Stravestein, maybe. And he was too busy getting it on. But I loved Axel's epilogue.
Bazza reacted to Oliver's.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the epilogue.
Right.
Right.
Too right. I quite enjoyed Bazza's epilogue because he finally grew into his room.
Room to agree.
Room grown.
And you checked with your wife to see if she'd been messing around with...
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I found out that she wasn't.
Imagine
I don't think she was.
No.
Imagine getting home. Your husband's just got home from some big adventure. Hey, this guy that I was with said that he fucked you a bunch, and I'm just wondering. I don't think you did,
fuck
but
the goat man?
pretty anxious about it. Did you fuck him?
See, I, as
No.
as the NPC, Charlie's wife, I felt bad for cheating on you. I didn't want it to come to light. I'm sorry, bud.
Wait, so
Canonically, she
canonically
fucked
she
the goat.
did and then lied to Bazza? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Yep.
Hey, mystery solved.
Hey, room to grow.
Room to grow.
I enjoyed my epilogue. You know, I got to meet up with my family, and who knows what's going to happen with the Kidman shafts.
Yeah, that's what next season's gonna be.
Yeah, I know. It's
I
Kidman and
really liked the your epilogue. I think your one was the most like
Epic.
your one felt
Epic
like
log.
your one felt like a story completed. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
were like Charlie's was an adventurer who came home from like Luke Skywalker or whatever. My one was a joke. Yours was like an actual character arc where it was like you weren't an adventurer and then at the end you were.
Yeah, I'd been a
Nice.
liar the whole time, and in the end I stopped lying and actually became the adventurer I'd been lying about being all along.
Beautiful.
Sorry, Charlie. You squinted at me like I disrespected you.
No, you didn't disrespect me. You called my character Luke Skywalker and then said that isn't an arc.
He stands by that still.
That's so funny.
I meant like yours was a circle, his was like a semicircle.
Okay.
So
Because you left home, you did the call to adventure, and then you came back home, having changed better for the experience.
The hero cycle.
Yeah, and he went through just a full blown like arc where he completely changed and everything, and his world changed. And my character kind of the same, but no.
that does bring us to one of Izzy's question, which was, who was your favourite character that you've played so far, and why? And of course, this will include winter, spring, and summer, because we've played through summer.
And you know what? Include autumn too. They haven't played him yet, but you get a feeling.
Okay, if we're including autumn, I'm genuinely more excited for the character I'm going to play for autumn than I have been for any time I've ever played D&D ever. I came up with this character
16 years ago.
before COVID. I came up with it before lockdown because it was when my dad was visiting. I'm going to be a cowboy and his name is Bowtie Friday. And that's the entire... it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to be Bowtie Friday.
But who's your favourite now? Before you play
Oh,
Bungo?
before then, I love playing Bungo. I loved being a wizard. I really, really, really enjoyed all the spells I picked. Although I did also love Aurelia.
I loved Axel. He was my favourite, and I also loved being a dad in Thorkel. He was great. Thorkel was really fun because I got to be a dad. Axel was really fun because I got to be a silly little Billy.
I did really enjoy being Bazza, but my own frustrations at my accent detracted from it.
So I felt about Konsu the whole time.
Yeah. So the being Elis, allowing me to be the most manipulative bastard for the first maybe 8 episodes was a really good time.
Can I just
What about
say...
Winter?
Can I just say... When you were playing Elis, at one point Tom was giving us all a ride into town or whatever, and you were like, no, I'm having the front seat. And I was just like, you don't have to be rude about it. You're like, no, I'm in Elis mode. You were just really rude to me.
Yeah. I loved Elis mode.
You loved Elis mode.
So yeah, and what about you, Troy?
Ooh, Margot was really fun because I was playing a genderless ranger, and that was like getting back into Dungeons and Dragons after not having played for so long. I think Nick Kidman, Harry Schaff was just such a fun dynamic to play because I got to be my goat-legged weirdo, which, my boyfriend loves satyrs.
All of us have only played 2, except for Tom, who's
Played 4.
Yeah, I've got the most options, and I don't like 2 of my characters. Well, I do like them, I just... 2 of my characters...
You don't love them.
When I played Konsu, the whole time I was playing Konsu, I was getting frustrated at myself, because I was like, this isn't the voice I want, so it's not the character I want, and it's like...
Yeah, you guys get really messed up if you don't have the correct character voice, which is so funny to me.
It's really difficult for me to get into my character. If I
Yeah,
can't
it's
do
really
the voice.
funny for Lucy. I can't wait to go to the beach.
No, I don't want to go to the beach.
Because
And
it's
yeah.
based on the McElroy's bit where they go, it's Little Lord Birthday going, I don't want to eat cake, Daddy, I want a horse, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's if I may, I've listened to my brother and me once ever, and it wasn't that bit. I just know this bit from you guys, and specifically that episode. And then I was like, no, I want this. give me the voice.
Charlie and Tom are Big Brothers fans.
Something I learned while listening sometimes to Season Quest.
Oh, yeah, go on. That's a good question. Carry on.
And
One of the morals we've learned from Season Quest.
and
yes.
being on Season Quest is that Lucy asks permission, if she may, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've also learned
I have a lot of very specific phrases.
Yeah, but to be fair, Lucy's asking if she may. Who was it? I think it was Tom. Made up information and then just followed through with their made up information.
me.
Yeah.
Tom's done that a few times.
I have, again,
Yeah, that's
I have ADD. I kind of gasped.
Wait,
I
did you say you have ED?
have ADD.
AD&D.
What's
Tom's
AD?
new podcast.
Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, I got AD too.
You got all the acronyms.
No, yeah.
Do you have COTC?
I don't know.
It's always
Man, do you have C&D? I think because I have ADD, and I don't know if this is an ADD thing or just because I have a dipshit brain. I will hear someone say something, and then I will repeat something as a joke, or someone else will make a joke about it. And in my head, because it's so recent to that information I heard, that's fact. And so if, like, for instance, when you fucking said some shit about someone having, like, 4 legs, and I was like, yeah, they have 16 legs. And I went, yeah, that's right, they have 16 legs. Can I cut off one of their 16 legs? What legs?
But it's always so great. It's always such a joy.
And then, you know what the best part is? I'm champion next season. So anything I say goes.
Oh,
yeah, that's what
it's gonna
being
be good.
DM is, making everything canon.
Are there any more questions?
I've got a question about what's happening after season 4. Once we've finished all 4 winter, spring, summer, autumn, what will season 5 be? Asked by Brad Zimmerman of Fate of Eisen.
It's time for me to go into producer mode.
Lucy's going to go into producer mode, everyone. Please be quiet.
So, we were thinking originally, like, the ideas we've had so far is maybe going back to the seasons and carrying them on to see if anything could happen.
Winter
To see
2.
if there was any, like, winter 2, to see what Bungo was doing and Thorfinn and that sort of stuff. Winter spoilers. I really struggled to remember names.
Thorkel is fucking dead.
And
Spoilers.
winter spoilers. Anyway, and so, but we're like, we've explored these worlds, we'd kind of like to do something new. So we're thinking genre quest, or as I want to call it, seasons of a show quest. But I keep getting that idea rejected. And we're going to do kind of genre based.
Well, I
don't remember ever rejecting
Yes,
that.
the amount of times I've seen seasons of a show get.
But I don't think we want to call it genre quest either. I think it's just called season quest and the
Oh yeah, no, we're
things
gonna.
that are genres.
It's still gonna be season quest, but I keep referring to it as a season of a show quest.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I probably shut it down before though. I would be
Yes,
surprised.
yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna all have genres, and that's gonna be our next seasons. We haven't entirely confirmed what all of our genres
I
are
know
gonna
what mine
be.
is.
But one
So
thing.
that's in. We're locking that in.
Yeah.
So
Well-
one thing we have confirmed is we want to do an anthology season, which is I think what we're going to start with. And within that, we're going to have a lot of like really little ones, and in those we're going to have different genres and stuff as well. We've got a couple ideas rocking around so far. I want to do horror,
I want to do kids shows
and you want to do court drama.
and court drama. That's gonna be my one shot probably.
We might.
We'll see.
So that's your main kid shows is your main one.
Court show.
Court drama is your
Anthology.
anthology. We don't have to go through ideas and stuff now.
I don't have ideas. Murder mystery? I don't know.
But yeah, just like
What?
And I want
Is
to
that
do
court
it.
drama? Too close?
No,
Why are
yes.
you hitting me?
Is that like hitting you?
And I want to do a cheesy like homebrew campaign around Pokemon.
So
I'm
anime.
very excited for anthology.
Yeah, I think the fun part of doing the seasons thing is that we can kind of mix up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We can make it I think because season 1 we tried to avoid homebrew stuff, like any of our homebrew stuff as much as possible, like super homebrewy stuff, like races and stuff. But I think next year we can throw in homebrew races.
Yeah.
Which I'm
We've
going to do
got-
for the kids show. Just
We've
so
got a couple little like homebrew stuff for autumn.
Yeah.
I'm playing a homebrew subclass.
It's not
specific.
homebrew.
It's not your
It's
homebrew,
just
but
not
it's
official.
somebody's.
Was it Matt Mercer's
Yeah, it's
Gunslinger?
Matt Mercer's Gunslinger.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's basically canon.
It's as close to canon as you can get without actually being canon.
There's going to be like obviously homebrewed enemies and stuff, but we've done that every season. So
But yeah, it's gonna be real fun.
On that same note, Anna asks, if Season Quest wasn't a D&D podcast, what do each of you think it would be?
Twilight at Night. But you
You
two
think
are guests.
Season Quest would be Twilight at Night?
Yeah.
Check out the Christmas special for that piece of content.
I don't understand the question. Like, what would Season Quest...
It's still called Season Quest. It's still
Oh.
a podcast.
Oh,
What
okay,
is
well,
it
it wouldn't be
instead of a
Twilight at
D&D?
Oh.
Wouldn't be Twilight at Night, because Twilight at Night's its own thing.
No, it would be a cooking show.
It would be, you think a cooking show? That's pretty good. A
That's
cooking
pretty
show podcast where you don't get to see, smell, or taste what's being cooked.
You
They're
can
just
just see,
talking
you
you
can
through it.
smell and taste shit in cooking shows anyway.
Okay, consider this, right? The episode 1, baking a fine fucking loaf of bread. At the end of the episode, he like crunches the loaf and you can hear that fucking crunch.
Yeah, and I love the episode with Spaghetti where he goes,
If
And then he
you-
throws the meatball in and it goes...
If any listeners want to hear this bonus episode brought to you by Charlie and Tom in a kitchen,
oh,
I
Charlie and
also-
Tom can't cook.
Can I also just say, you guys have also had a lovely sneak peek for autumn, episode 1. What's it called? baking a lovely fucking loaf of bread. That's what gonna be episode 1 of Autumn's gonna be called.
No, I don't want that to be episode 1. There's going to be no bread in this episode.
Oh,
think?
yeah.
We'll see.
It's all beans, no bread.
God, it would actually
Both
be
sides
really
of
nice.
bacon.
It would be nice if someone got a fish and you could hear them descaling it on the
Yeah,
podcast.
that's what I'm saying.
free.
Like an ASMR
Fish.
ASMR cooking
Yeah,
podcast.
Loving that. Love that.
Personally, I think it would be one of those review channels where they're like, is this paprika or cumin? You can tell by the green in it, and it's just product versus product of seasonings.
That's pretty good. I
Mm,
think it
similar.
would be like MapQuest, and it's just instructions on how to get from one destination to another, but it's not customized or anything. It's just different like sets of directions for different.
Can I build off of that?
Yeah.
It's like MapQuest, but it's telling you how to watch a TV series. So it's like, oh,
You start
can-
episode 1.
You can skip the first season because nobody really
Office.
likes the first
The
season.
Office. Every show
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
That's a sitcom.
And that's Season Quest.
And the fourth season's always the worst one,
Yeah.
/ the gas leak year.
Yeah.
What's the best? What is the like? Just a real side question. What is the like number 1 show of no, you can't skip the first season? My answer is Peaky Blinders.
Breaking Bad. Breaking
Avatar.
Bad gives you all the context of the show.
Avatar.
Glee.
Iron Chef.
Twin Peaks.
My season quest.
MasterChef Junior, because that's the season
Freaks and
they
Geeks. Because they
hired
only had one
actors.
season. Funny joke.
They hired actors.
Yeah, all the kids were actors. They weren't real kids who were following their dreams of cooking.
They're real kids.
No,
They're real kids.
they were just really short dudes.
They're really good actors.
They're on their knees the whole time going, oh, I've got such short arms so I can't reach the paprika on the shelf.
And that's season quest.
My season quest idea would be, it's me breaking down every single season of Del Toro Quest.
Yes!
And I go, so season 1 of Del Toro Quest.
What's Del Toro Quest?
So there's books and then there's an anime.
Did
based
you
on
watch the
books.
anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually really, really close to something we've already done on season quest. Because episode 11 of summer is Charlie breaking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Charlie, that brings us to another question from Anna. Who has the most annoying characters, and why is it Charlie?
Because I'm an annoying person. Next question.
Yeah, next question. We've got this one on lock. We hate Charlie.
The final question I have is also for Charlie.
Oh, fuck.
This one's from Logan, who's our video editor.
Oh, no.
What's the correct order for the social media links at the end of an episode?
Okay, Charlie, you're gonna do an end of an episode right now. This is when we don't write it down for him.
Okay, thank you for listening to Season Quest. You can find us on Facebook. Thank you for listening to Season Quest. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Season Quest. Thank you for listening to Season Quest. You can find us at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on at Season Quest Pod.
There you go, Logan. There you go, listeners.
And Charlie, it's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Season Quest Pod.
And
Got
you
it right in
know-
the first one. Lucy, can you edit that?
We also say, we
No,
usually say,
I can't edit.
You can find us.
We also usually
No,
say,
yeah, no, I know.
usually
Stop.
say, you
Shh,
can
shh,
find
let me do it.
Okay,
You can find us at Season Quest Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
There we go.
Hey!
Oh my god, he broke a glass.
Fuck you, Logan.
Thanks for listening to the spring recap. Be sure to check out Autumn where I am DM and I kill you.
You
Yeah,
can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Finstagram at Season Questus.
You can find our Finsta.
Make sure you
us on Pinterest.
contact us on those social media sites. Leave us questions for the summer Q&A episode, which will come out after autumn, and then we'll do one for autumn as well.
Nice.
I don't think we will.
You can find us on MySpace.
MySpace, Pinterest, and Tumblr.
And Tinder at Season Quest
Logan,
Pod.
you have to do each of those logos, that entire bit, the 5 minutes that just happened.
And
will.
You will.
also be sure to write that there was sponsored content in this episode.
There was not sponsored content